All right, for the record, can you set your name and your age, please?
My name is Joe Dixon, and I'm 20 years old.
All right, in your own words, can you describe for me the events of October 11th and 12th?
That would be the day the zombies took over Columbia, and had fallen asleep on the quad after my classes. And by the time I had woken up, it was laid out. I couldn't see anything; it was pitch black. So I got up, started looking around, and I heard a grunt in the distance across the quad.
What did you think that grunt was?
I didn't know. I thought it was maybe somebody had brought their dog, or I had never really heard anything like it, so I wasn't sure. But I looked out, and I could just make out in the distance what looked like somebody lying on the ground with somebody bent over them. So I kind of got a little closer, and I saw a zombie, and he was feeding on the inner organs of this girl.
How close do you think you were?
I was probably about 100 feet away.
You could see it clearly?
Not very clearly, but I could definitely see the zombie with what looked to be intestines in his mouth.
After you saw the zombie feeding, what was your next reaction?
I've started freaking out. I wasn't sure where to go. I hadn't, like I said, I was asleep on the quad the whole day, so I hadn't heard anything on the news or any sort of emergency notice of what I should be doing. And I didn't know, at this point, it was pretty early on, but I didn't know that right away, so I have no idea if other people were zombies or what the situation was. But I just decided to get as far away as possible, so I went out and I tried to sneak past him towards Jesse Hall, and he kind of saw me right as I was about to, get out of sight. He looked up and started chasing me, so I had to sprint really fast, and I ran towards the hospital on the other side of campus. And while I was running, I saw a few other zombies that were sort of walking around. It looked like they weren't chasing anybody, but it just looked like they were looking for somebody to chase after. And so I ran past Stankowski Field, and I noticed some more zombies feeding on some more people who had just been playing soccer late at night. And then I started really freaking out, and I finally was able to make it to the Ellis Fischel Cancer Center right by the dorms on campus.
At this point, did you see any law enforcement or anyone trying to intervene with zombie attacks?
There were a few police officers around, but it didn't seem like anything was too urgent at this point. So I just went up to them, and at this point there were still a few zombies chasing after me. So I started screaming, yelling, trying to get their attention. I got them to come over to me, and then they proceeded to shoot the 3 zombies that were following me in the head, and then I went into the hospital, which was being used as a shuttle point to take people to the mall.
At this point, what did you see inside the hospital?
Inside the hospital, I saw a bunch of people being carted around, and the people had a wide variety of injuries, broken arms, bitten legs, things like that. And there was also this section, it was kind of warded off with a curtain, which to me I later found out was where they had to kill the people who had been infected by other zombies. And so that's kind of creepy to think about now.
How long were you in the hospital before you boarded a shuttle?
I was in the hospital for about 2 or 3 hours. It was pretty chaotic. Getting shuttles here and back and forth between the hospital and the mall was hectic because zombies were in the street, and They couldn't take some of the main roads, like Stadium and Providence at this point, I guess, were pretty infested with zombies. And so they had to take a lot of back roads, and they couldn't take a ton of people at once.